The theory of consumer demand is defined as the willingness and ability of buyers to purchase a quantity of goods and services in a given period of time, or at a given point in time. On the other hand, the theory of consumer behavior is a process of an individual deciding whether, why, what, where, who, and how, when, and from whom to purchase something that they need, such as goods and services.
Love is nothing more than a general proposition of tendencies, more or less certain, more or less definite. The law of demand states that as the good rises, the quantity demanded of the good falls, and as the price of a good falls, the quantity demanded of the good rises, ceteris paribus, and other things are equal or remain the same. The law of demand also simplifies that the price of a good and the quantity demanded of a good are inversely proportional. As you can see at the bottom of the slide, the demand curve slopes downward from left to right, which explains that when the price is high, the demand is low, and vice versa. The theory of consumer choice examines the trade-offs that people face in their position as consumers and how they respond to changes in the environment. The consumer's wants and desires are unlimited and exceed the ability to satisfy them all. People only consume the goods less than they desire or want because their income is limited to a certain amount and they have limited spending than the amount of income.
According to the pie chart, figure 1 shows that the decisions only open for two groupings of gender, which are male and female. Among the 33 respondents, the number of female respondents is higher than the male respondents, whereby 19 respondents with 57.58% are female, while 14 respondents with 42.42% are male. From the survey, we found that the majority of the consumers are female. According to the pie chart, figure 2 shows that there are four types of race, which are Malay, Chinese, Indian, and others. Among the 33 respondents, 16 of respondents with 48.48% are Malay, 8 of respondents with 24.24% are Chinese, 6 of respondents with 28.28% are Indians, and 3 of respondents with 9.09% are from Brunei, Iran, and Bajau. From the survey, we can interpret that the majority of the respondents are Malay, while the second highest number of respondents are Chinese, and the third highest number are Indian who took part in this survey. Even the number of respondents from the other races took the least, but there are still 3 of them attending the survey. According to the pie chart, figure 3 shows that there are 4 types of group people from different races are accessible under age classification, which range from below 30, 41 to 50, 31 to 40, and above 51. Among the 33 respondents, below age 30 is 25 respondents with a percentage of 75.75%, trailing by age 41 to 50, which is 4 respondents with a percentage of 12.12%. Age 31 to 40 is 3 respondents with a percentage of 3.03%, and above age 51 has only 1 respondent with the percentage of 9.09%. From the survey, we found that the majority of the consumers are below the age of 30. There are only a few consumers under the age of 41 to 50, 31 to 50, and above 51.
Next, my name is Nur Amirah Inani binti Fazil and my metric number is 280145. I will explain for analysis and observation of consumer behavior 1. First and foremost, I will start to explain for the statement I prefer to purchase goods or products depending on their brands. According to the pie chart, it shows the numbers and percentage of respondents that rating about the statement that they prefer to purchase goods or products depending on their brands. The number and percentage respondents that choose to agree and moderate are the same. There are 9 respondents who agree and 9 respondents choose to moderate in this statement. The percentage for agree and moderate in this statement are 27.3%, which is the highest percentage among the others. Next, the second highest percentage are for strongly agree and disagree. The result shows there are 21.2%. There are the same percentage and number of respondents who strongly agree and disagree. 7 respondents choose to strongly agree and 7 respondents choose to disagree for this statement that they prefer to purchase goods or products depending on their brands. Lastly, the number of respondents who strongly disagree with this statement is lower than others. The result shows the number of respondents who strongly disagree is 1 respondent only. The percentage strongly disagree is 3%. It shows that strongly disagree is the lowest choice for our respondents to choose in this statement. Based on the result, it shows that most of our respondents choose to agree and moderate in this statement. It is because brand is an important thing for consumers to choose before they buy any goods or product. As consumers, we need to know the brands of goods or products before we buy it. Brand also can be preference among the consumer. Brands can shift the demand curve rightward or leftward. If they are having change in preference in favor of good, the demand curve will be shifted to the rightward. Besides, if they are having change in preference away from good, the demand curve will be shifted to the leftward. The reason why people buy goods or products based on the brands are because brands provide peace of mind. Every consumer mostly chooses the goods or products based on their choice that could make them feel happy and comfortable when using it. Next, people prefer to purchase goods or products depending on their brands because brands express who we are. If we are buying the goods or product based on their product, it can show our personality. An example for consumers that use Apple products such as smartphone, it can make them look luxurious when using Apple products. So, brands are important for us to look at before we buy any goods or products. Last but not least, people prefer to purchase goods or products depending on their brands because brands can add value. For example, we can see for Lifebuoy products, Lifebuoy is one of the most popular hygiene soaps brands in the world. Lifebuoy also creates advertisement on television to build customer trust based on the message conveyed. So, consumers will be more confident to use Lifebuoy products when they see the advertisement on television.
Based on the pie chart, a total of 4 respondents have strongly disagreed based on the statement, which is equivalent to 12.1%. The percentage for the respondents that choose to disagree with this statement is 21.2%. Next, the percentage for those who choose moderate is 33.3%, which is the higher percentage among the others. The number of respondents that choose agree that if the price is high, they are glad if they can buy branded goods are 8 respondents, which is equivalent to 24.2%. Lastly, respondents that strongly agreed was a total of 3 people. This shows the percentage for the respondents that choose strongly agree is 9.1%. Branded goods get high response even though the price is high, because branded goods have better quality when compared to non-branded goods. Branded goods also have their own uniqueness and not available everywhere.
Branded goods can be classified as a luxury goods. Luxury goods are goods whose quantity demanded increase as income increase, but the additional quantity demanded is greater than the additional income. Luxury goods have a positive demand elasticity. It is because when consumer income increase, then the demand for luxury goods also increase. The elasticity of demand for income is more than 1. This means that the change in demand is always greater than the change in income. Next is demand curve. The additional percentage of quantity demanded is greater than the additional percentage of income. This demonstrates that as income change, quantity change in the same direction, but the quantity change is bigger than the income change.
Next, for the third question is, we ask the respondent, will they increase their purchase for a certain good if their income rises? And yes, as a result of this, a majority of the respondents strongly agree that they will increase their purchase for a certain good. And on a contrast, about 32% of the respondents disagree and strongly disagree with this statement. And for the rest of the respondent, answering is moderate. Based on what we have learned is, the income effect is related to how a consumer spends his or her money to purchase a certain good as their income increase or decrease. As we can see, based on the graph, increase in income leads to an increase in demand for product and service. Means, if a certain person's income rises, his desire for the item also rises as well, causing his demand curve to shift from left to the right.
Meanwhile, a decrease in income has the exact opposite effect. In general, when incomes are low, people spend less and the businesses suffer as a result. When income rises, demand for the inferior goods falls, whereas when income falls, demand for the inferior goods rises. The diagram shows that increasing and decreasing income affect the demand for inferior goods. Point B will move to the point A as the income falls from 700 to 500. As we can see right now, during the pandemic COVID-19, most people lost their jobs and the employer also needed to reduce the wages of the employees. That is why the government gives financial assistance to the major companies to ensure they do not fire the workers during and after the pandemic. This financial assistance just to protect the financial stability for both companies and workers. At least this way can avoid a sharp drop in income also from shutting down the company. Government just want to keep the purchasing power among the people. They can give a little profit to the companies and to the government. The first statement is, if the price of goods is low, I will increase my purchases. According to the pie chart, 12 out of 33 respondents choose to agree with this statement. The percentage who agree with this statement is 36.4%. Next, the second highest percentage strongly agree is 24.2%, and 8 out of 33 respondents strongly agree. For disagree, another 7 respondents choose for it. Lastly, the lowest percentage in this statement, it is moderate. It is 18.2%, and 6 of the respondents choose for the moderate. Based on this survey, we clearly can see that most of the respondents agree to the purchase of good if the price good is low. The demand graph above represents the situation when the price increases or decreases that can affect the people's demand. If the price rises, the quantity demanded will decrease and the dot will move to the left. Then the quantity will become more as the price decreases and the dot will move to the right. Besides, it happened oppositely for the supplier side. According to the law of supplies, the quantities sold are at the specific price. The higher the price, the more seller supplies. The supply relationship has an upward sloping slope. This means the price rises, so do the quantity supply. From the seller's perspective, the opportunity cost of each additional unit grows steadily higher. Producers give more at higher price to offset the greater opportunity cost of each additional unit sold.
According to the pie chart, the number and percentage of respondents who prefer to buy items online rather in person, no one strongly disagrees and 4 respondents disagree with the statement.
10 respondents answer moderately and agree. The last 9 respondents select with strongly agree. So it can be seen that the most selected by respondents are moderate and agree with the statement. Based on the analysis on the pie chart, there are a few observations that can be seen. In the demand for goods online is more than stores because it gives convenience to consumers for not always going to the stores and also the convenience of shopping at home. Consumers can also shop from the convenience of their own homes or office. It shows that when compared to in-store buyers, online shoppers have a higher income group is called having their own income. Consumers may make online shopping easier if they buy goods from the person they should pay on time to receive their goods products, while they buy goods online can make it easier for consumers who want to end the transaction. And last is less pressure from sellers because activities and behaviors will make the consumer feel pressured to buy unwanted items and decide to buy the goods online. The pie chart shows the number for rating disagree are 5 respondents. 7 respondents select moderately, 13 respondents give their rating for agree, and last 8 respondents select strongly agree. So it can be seen that the most selected by respondents are agree with the statement. Based on the analysis on the pie chart, there are a few observations that will be seen. Online shopping has become one effective way of boosting an economy by increasing the demand and also growing consumption and promotion employment. The convenience of internet will save customer time and make online shopping ideal for individuals who have busy lifestyles that prevent them from visiting shopping malls is called saving their time. Using online shopping for buying goods make customers avoid crowded places. If consumers want to avoid crowded places, they can buy their items online through sites online shopping like Shopee or Lazada, while they can still manage their time.
According to the pie chart, 12 respondents strongly agree with the statement. Meanwhile, another 19 respondents select agree and the 2 remaining respondents select moderate. With this situation, we can clearly see that most of the respondents will purchase the good when the price falls by 50%. First of all, law of demand, which is a fall in price leads to an increase in quantity demanded. Second, inverse relationship. The greater the price of an item, the less it will be purchased by customers. The lower the price an item, the more it will be purchased by customers. And the third one, demand curve. Changes in quantity demanded are just a reflection of price changes and do not suggest any shift in customer preferences. Change in quantity demanded simply refers to move along the demand curve as a result of a price adjustment. According to the pie chart, the number for rating strongly disagree on this statement are 3 respondents. 50 respondents disagree, 11 respondents answer moderately, 3 respondents agree, and last, one of the respondents select strongly agrees. It can seem that the most of the respondents disagree the statement. Law of diminishing marginal utility. The marginal utility of a good or service declines as more of it is consumed by an individual. Second, substitute the goods. People substitute higher priced goods with lower priced goods. Consumer will choose another good if the price is lower than good A.
The pie chart shows the number and percentage of respondents that have given their choice for the statement. The number of respondents that agreed with the statement of if the price of good B rise, they will purchase good A are 14 respondents. Next, 9 respondents strongly agree with that they would prefer to buy good A if the price of good B increase. Apart from that, the number of respondents that choose the option moderate are 6 respondents. Lastly, the result shows that the number and percentage of respondents that choose disagree and strongly disagree are equal, 2 respondents for each. There are not many perceptions that can be seen dependent on the pie outline. In the first place, these are substitute products. Change in the cost of one item in a couple of substitute merchandise can cause request band for different product to move. As displayed in the assertion, assuming that the cost of good will boost the other item will as a rule expand in the amount of interest since individuals will pay for the less expensive of the two. In this way, there is an immediate connection between the cost of a one substitute rate and the amount of the other with the superposition of ceteris paribus. According to the pie chart, 50 respondents agree with the statement that they will purchase good A if their income increases by 50%. 8 respondents strongly agree that if the amount of their income rises, they will buy good A. Meanwhile, 7 respondents choose the option moderate as the answer to the statement given. Lastly, the remaining 3 respondents disagree and none of the respondents strongly disagree with the assumption. It can be clearly seen that the consumer will purchase good A if their income rises by 50%. According to the analysis, there is an observation that can be seen. When income rises, consumer will demand a higher quantity of normal goods but a lower quantity of inferior goods. Buyer income incredibly impact their choice making in buying goods. For example, assuming an individual has a normal or higher pay, they will buy an ordinary merchandise at a given cost, while the lower pay labor like to buy subpar product as they have low. The connection among income and quantity demanded are negative. This is on the ground that specific goods are not esteemed as much by the customer when their income rises. One example is value grocery store item. At the point where income increases, a purchaser might wish to spend their cash on a better produce since they will now be able to manage the cost of it and thus devote less of food produce. Assuming income rises, the amount requested of a mediocre descent falls. Assuming that income falls, the amount requested is a mediocre descent increment. So, income plays an important part in demand as it influences the ability of a person to purchase power.
According to the pie chart, 13 respondents agreed that they will purchase both the goods A and B if their income increases by 50%. 7 respondents strongly agree that if their wages rises, they will buy both the goods. Meanwhile, another 7 respondents do not agree with the statement given above. The remaining 6 respondents answered that they feel moderate about buying both goods if there is an increase in their income. Through this study, it can be clearly seen that a rise in consumers' income will cause an increase in the demands for goods. Based on the analysis of 2 pie charts, there are a few observations that can be seen. In the case of a normal good, when income increases, the demand curve will shift outwards. Consumer purchase a specific amount of goods or services at a specific price that is based on their income preferences and other variables is called as the demand curves. Market equilibrium can also be known as the price to quantity correlations, and this is where the demand and supply curves intersect. When one's income grows, the most frequent reaction is to buy more of both things. When one's income diminishes, the most common reaction is to buy less of both goods. Demand shift is described as the shift along the demand curves. Movement along the demand curves can be caused by the changes in the price of goods. Meanwhile, other elements such as the price of the substitute will remain unchanged. If the goods or services is defined as normal goods or a demanded goods, hence it is positively linked with income. A raise in income will create an outward movement in demand that is to the right. Apart from that, income elasticity of demand can also be seen in this case. It can be referred to as the responsiveness of the quantity demanded for a specific commodity to a change in the actual income of customers who buys it. The greater the income elasticity of demand for a specific good, the more the demand is influenced by the changes in consumers' income.
And I'm going to present about the last part of this assignment, which is summary of findings and conclusion. My name is Vishalini, daughter of Gopalkrishnan, and my metric number is 286125. From the survey in part 1 of consumer behavior, most of the statements are agree and strongly agree by the respondents. But one statement with highest percentage for agree and strongly agree is, if the price of good is low, I will increase my purchases. While the statement with higher percentage for disagree and strongly disagree is for the statement, if my income rises, I will increase my purchases. In part 2, the statement, if the price of good A falls by 50%, I will purchase it, strongly agree and agree by 94% of the respondent and no one disagree or strongly disagree. While the statement, even if the price of good A is high, I will purchase good A, disagree and strongly disagree by 54.6% respondent of the total. Therefore, price of a good and a person's income are the main factors in consumer behavior. In conclusion, consumer behavior concepts and theories are really vital to all the firms and consumers because it helps them to provide their products or goods depending on the demand in the market and consumer behavior to achieve their organizational goals. This kind of survey really helps a firm to analyze the factors that influence consumers' decisions. Thank you.